Hello, everyone. I am here with Park Ranger Drew, and he is going to tell Goober and I more about the Civilian Conservation Corps and their barracks. Drew, take it away.
Yeah, so right behind me, this was actually what we're guessing for the most part is a tool shop. But we've went ahead and we've made it into a barracks, just so that I have a place to rest my head when I'm doing CCC Living History. Why don't you come on and follow me?
All right, come on, Goober. Wow, we're inside the barracks. Take it away, Mr. Drew.
So as of last year, you and Goober got to visit and talk to Ranger Ambrose in here. Not much has changed. We've got some more stuff for our kits. We've got 4 bunks this time around. Yeah, and this is a slice of life. Just wanted to go ahead and put it up as this is how close they'd sleep together. They'd have a lot more bunks and a lot more men, of course. And then this would be your standard kit. Anything from cigarettes to candy to gum. I've got my exchange tickets here so that I can go to the company store and get a little bit of extra stuff that they wouldn't provide for me. But I'm telling you what, I'm pretty well fed as is.
I was at the mess hall. They fed you, what, 3 times a day?
3 times a day and as much as you could eat. You weren't told, no, you got to stop eating. Those boys coming in, it was the Great Depression. They were starving for the most part. They called it the CCC 3. You'd get there, you'd eat, and then you'd gain 15 pounds. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed in this barracks, how many, I know this is the tool shed representing a barracks, but in the real barracks, how many men would be sleeping in it?
I can't give you a set in stone number, but based off of pictures, I would say that there's about 30 to 40 men per barrack.
Per barracks.
Yeah.
And would there be like a person in charge, like a sergeant or something? Or?
Yeah, so we have a commander, Cargan, I believe his name was, and then you've got Lieutenant Jung, and another lieutenant who I'm blanking on his name right now, but they would be the officers in charge of the enrolled men.
All right, I'm going to pause the camera to move my camera here for a
Sure.
moment. So, Drew, I have a question. I see 2 Civilian Conservation Corps people here not working. How would you deal with someone that came to this camp and then decided they didn't want to do anything and loaf around?
They were almost immediately released. If you couldn't hack it, if you weren't willing to do what was necessary to feed yourself and feed your family, then there was no room for you in the CCC. That was one of the biggest things, is most of the pay that you made here actually went home to your family. You didn't keep it. I think you got $3 to $5, but beyond that, it was so that the company could, or the country could rebuild itself, and
So
B.
So, excuse me. So that means they couldn't gamble it away. So playing cards here in the barracks at midnight, they wouldn't spend all the money in the barracks goofing off with it because it went home to their wives and loved ones, right? Is that right?
That is right, except for the wives part. If you were married, you were not allowed in the CCC. That was one of the stipulations. You had to be unmarried.
Wow. See, Goober and I learned something else.
Hey, there you go.
And I know that Gerald and Goober will get working, so you don't hit them with a broom. Can you tell me a bit about the clothing you're all wearing? It seems like everyone has a white T-shirt, a blue hat, and blue pants.
Yep. So this is the main working kit. You'd also have this overall shirt, 3 buttons at the top, but you couldn't just wrap it over. You had to pull it over, and
so it doesn't have buttons.
It does have buttons, just the 3 at the top, though, not all the way down. And that was taken really from the quartermasters during World War I. That was a pattern that was used really starting in 1917, 1918. And then you've got your dress uniform, which very military, also leftovers from World War I. But you wouldn't, of course, be shoveling and putting out fires with your dress.
Well, I noticed something in the corner. Can you walk over there and show me?
Sure.
I think that's a baseball bat. How would
That
they?
is a baseball bat.
Now, we're really at a work camp. Why do you have a baseball bat here?
Because on top of the work and on top of the education that was provided to the enrolled men here, athletics was another huge part. Every morning, you would do some physical exercise after revel, and then you'd go about your workday. You would go to your classes in the evening, and then during the weekends, you would usually travel in town to go test your mettle against the townies in a game of baseball, or they play basketball, soccer, what have you. Right here at Fort Frederick, up until I think early 90s, we actually, from 30s to the 90s, had a baseball field. And we've got plenty of pictures of 1353 baseball team.
Wow. I think my next question for you is there anything left of the original barracks and, kitchen and so forth here at Fort Frederick?
There is. Barracks-wise, not so much, but we do have currently some of the mess hall and bathhouse that we've been uncovering. There is a hiking trail that you can actually go by yourself and see today, and anytime someone asks me, I'm going to do guided walk through and just explain how they lived.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, I'll try to arrange to go on your guided walk for that and get that on video.
Awesome.
I think that would be really good for our Conservation Corps videos that I've got.
I mean, just as long as Goober comes along.
Well, I'm sure Goober will be along as long as Gerald and Goober don't get kicked out of the camp for not wanting to work.
You might have to send them to the infirmary on sick roll.
But they have quite the legacy together at different historic sites. So before I close this out, Drew, in all seriousness, would you like to close anything else out before I go on to my next station?
I'd just like to say that please come visit us here at Fort Frederick. We work very hard on all aspects of our story here. And one of the biggest things we like to do is share it with the public. We are a hidden gem, and we would like to make it so that we were more shiny.
All right. Well, I'm doing what I can on Bill's History World with Goober the Traveling Bear. Thank you for this interview.
Of course. Thank you, Bill.